The van curves along the coastal road, sunlight flickering through tinted glass. Laughter fills the air, a soft, natural rhythm of anticipation. Lena presses her forehead to the window, her gray eyes reflecting cliffs that stretch into the horizon. Ethan hums tunelessly beside her, tapping the steering wheel. Maya, always the voice of mischief, leans forward with her phone raised, recording the road ahead. The sea below glimmers endless, alive, and the cliffs above it glow golden, as if they've been waiting just for this moment. 5 minutes? Ethan says, half smiling. Lena whispers, 5 minutes to forever. Outside, the world feels balanced, serenity before movement, calm before memory decides to shift. The cliff hums with wind and freedom. Lena adjusts her camera strap and squints toward the horizon, setting the tripod near the edge. Maya teases, come on. Lean closer, the view's better if your heart's in your throat. Ethan chuckles nervously. Let's keep our hearts in our chests, maybe. The sea below isn't just blue. Its alive light shatters on every wave. Birds wheel in slow, perfect arcs. The three gather close, framed by the boundless sky, the kind of frame made for sharing. Lena holds her phone out, smiling. Okay. 3 seconds. Just hold still. In that frozen pause, the universe holds its breath, waiting for something it already knows is coming. A single laugh and then silence. Lena shifts her right foot for balance. Gravel slides like beads of glass. Maya gasps. Ethan's voice cracks. Lena, the sound of pebbles scattering, feels endless, louder than wind. Her body tilts forward, her arms spread instinctively, as if she could swim in air. The world slows, thickens. Every muscle in her body clenches with realization. She's no longer standing. The lens of Maya's phone still catches her half-frame, half-void smile fading into pure disbelief. 5 seconds. That's all. In the first, her heart pounds louder than thought. In the second, air claws at her lungs. In the third, her camera strap snaps free, spinning beside her like a second life untethering. In the fourth, memories flicker a sunset in Bali, her mother's voice, Ethan's laugh. In the fifth, the world becomes white noise. She doesn't scream, not from fear, but from the silence that feels infinite. Gravity is cruel and tender, carrying her like a forgotten prayer. There is no sound after impact, only the wind returning to its rhythm. Ethan collapses to his knees, mouth open in a silent cry. Maya's phone drops, clattering against stone, still recording the empty frame. The sea continues indifferent. The camera pans back, humans small against eternity. A gull cries once distant, mocking, holy. In that echo, the story fractures into before and after. The air feels thick, almost merciful. In that weightless instant, Lena realizes she hasn't hit the ground yet. She floats, or believes she does, surrounded by light that flickers like broken film. Every sound stretches. Her heartbeat, a scream that belongs to someone else, maybe Ethan. Her mind races faster than gravity. She thinks, absurdly, of how beautiful the ocean looks from this angle, blue, melting into eternity. The wind doesn't roar. It whispers, a motherly lullaby through rushing void. Her fingers claw at nothing. The cliff edge above shrinks, golden and cold. 5 seconds. She wonders if that's enough time to pray or to remember. Gravity drags her, but memory resists. In the blur, Lena sees herself at 10 years old, barefoot on her father's dock, laughing at minnows that scatter beneath her toes. The smell of sea salt, the same scent that fills her lungs now. Her mother's voice echoes, "Always look where you stand, baby." Then flash teenage Lena in rain, clutching her first camera, 22, on a mountain ledge, saying, "I'm not afraid of heights." The present swallows her again, fast and merciless. Her brain fires snapshots faster than light memory reels that burn out mid-frame. She realizes she's lived this moment in 1,000 dreams, never believing it could hurt this much to be alive. Above her, screams distort through wind. Ethan's voice, guttural, primal, rips the air. Maya's choked sob becomes static against cliffs, but Lena can't hear clearly. Everything above her feels light years away. In that suspended eternity, she imagines them frozen in a photograph. Ethan's hands outstretched, Maya's phone trembling midair. A strange calm pierces her panic, guilt disguised as gratitude. They're still up there, she thinks. They still have ground beneath them. Her vision spins the horizon, tilts and folds. Time no longer obeys distance. Love is visible, but unreachable. Somewhere, a gull's shadow cuts across her body, a living metronome counting down her last seconds of sky. She sees the rocks now sharp, waiting, impossibly close. Instinct takes over. The body forgets fear and learns to twist, to aim for water, for chance. Muscles seize, lungs crush themselves against bone. Time fractures into pure reaction. "Please," she whispers, to whom she doesn't know. The sea beneath her splits into patches of light foam and darkness merging. Her jacket balloons, wind roaring now like thunder. Then splash of white noise. Not yet impact, but inevitability singing. Somewhere deep inside, she believes she can still stop this, if she just wills hard enough, if she just remembers how to breathe. Impact is not a sound, it's an absence. Water doesn't cushion, it shatters around her like glass. Her body folds, ribs scream, the world implodes to white. Then silence, the kind only found in the ocean's heart. Then silence, the kind only found in the ocean's heart. She drifts downward, eyes open, hair waving like seaweed. Above her, sunlight wavers, distorted and unreachable. She imagines touching it again, but her limbs feel like stone. Her lungs burn. Bubbles escape like lost memories. 5 seconds finally end, and yet time refuses to move on. She thinks, so this is how light dies, quietly, beautifully, beneath its own reflection. Tomas Rivera has done this before dozens of times. Broken bones, hikers gone too far, tourists chasing photos. But something in Ethan's scream makes his pulse accelerate before he even sees the cliff. He runs, heavy boots pounding dirt, breath matching the rhythm of the siren still too far behind him. The sea wind stings his eyes, salt mixing with sweat. At the edge, Ethan clings to a rock, voice shredded by panic. She fell. She's down there, please. Tomas doesn't ask how. He just looks over the edge and sees the ocean spinning, waves breaking against black stone. Somewhere within that chaos, a body floats impossibly small, heartbreakingly human. Alive, he whispers, and jumps into motion. Thome lies half buried in gravel, lens cracked, battery at 1%. Yet it still records. The image shakes slightly, a jitter of digital breath. Ethan's cries echo somewhere out of frame. Maya's hands, trembling, move into view, brushing dirt away. She lifts the device, and the reflection of her own tear-streaked face fills the glass. The screen catches the world in fragmented light sky, fractured, sea alive. Her voice soft, desperate. Please be alive. Please be alive. The phone blinks red rec. No one notices that it's still streaming to the cloud. That a tragedy is already turning into a feed. By the time the rescue boat nears the shore, the sky hums with machines. Tourists with drones hover above the cliffs, lenses hungry for clarity or content. Tomas waves them off, but the buzzing only grows. One drone's light blinks red over the waves, spotlighting the scene like a crime in progress. He grips his walkie. Get them out of my airspace. But no one listens. Ethan looks up, dazed, watching tiny, blinking dots float in the sky, unblinking eyes that never cared who fell. The world is already watching. None of them can stop it. At first, they think she's gone. The silence is absolute, the kind that sinks into bone. Thomas feels for a pulse, his gloved fingers trembling. Nothing. Then, faint. Irregular there. A gasp erupts through the group. Water spills from Lena's lips. Her chest jerks violently. The world seems to restart, like film dragged back onto its reel. Easy, 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 Thomas murmurs, voice breaking through the chaos. Ethan drops beside her, his hand hovering near her face, afraid to touch what might still vanish. Her eyelids twitch, the first movement of a life reclaimed from silence. She's stable, a paramedic mutters, voice muffled behind his mask. Pulse weak, but she's here. The team works fast straps, oxygen, metallic click of instruments. Ethan stands motionless, soaked to the bone, watching the stretcher rise from the beach. The world around him is blurry, unreal sirens sound distant, drowned in the ocean's hum. Thomas steps back, silent, his gloved hands trembling. Maya records nothing now. She just watches, jaw trembling, realizing she's captured enough forever. Somewhere beneath the sirens, the sea keeps whispering, not in words, in rhythm, in heartbeat. The phone connects to Wi-Fi before anyone thinks to stop it. The footage auto-uploads, shaky, sunlit, silent, except for wind, and that one scream. Within minutes, it's everywhere. A thumbnail, a click, a million plays. The title is cruelly simple. Cliffside selfie gone wrong. In the first hour, it's trending in 8 countries. Comments multiply. Oh, down, is she alive? Darwin Award 2025. This is why influencers die. No one knows her name yet. To them, she's content. The video loops endlessly, those same 5 seconds. Slower each time, dissected frame by frame. As if truth could be extracted by watching pain longer. By morning, the internet has divided into saints and executioners. One camp prays, the other mocks. Reaction videos bloom like weeds, laughter, analysis, moral lectures. Clipped audio repeats Lena's scream, remixed into beats, hashtags growing like mold. #5s can fall, #gravid girl. Somewhere Maya watches helplessly as notifications explode across her screen. Her voice cracks. That's her, that's my video. In another country, a talk show debates fault. Commentators sip coffee, while her body still lies in hospital silence. Empathy lasts less than a scroll. The fall becomes entertainment, pain, flattened into pixels. Ethan hasn't slept. The hospital room's fluorescent hum feels endless. He scrolls headline after headline, each more grotesque than the last. Influencer's tragic dive. 5 seconds that shook the web. His hands shake. Every article uses the same still frame, her smile, frozen right before the fall. He whispers, "She's not a story. She's my wife." But the algorithm doesn't care who grieves. It only measures engagement. He locks the screen and stares at her, tubes and monitors reflecting in his glassy eyes. For the first time, he realizes the world will never unsee her fall. Lena wakes to sound not of waves, but of pinging notifications. Her vision blurs. Pain hums behind her eyes. The nurse's voice fades beneath the soft glow of her phone screen. A video thumbnail loads. She presses play. Her own face stares back, smiling, unaware, then falling. She watches herself die. Thousands of times. Through strangers' comments. Brave. Stupid. Fake. Lucky. Tears slip silently down her cheek, not from pain, but from the eerie disconnection, as if the person in the video is a ghost that wears her skin. She whispers, "Turn it off." But no one can. The world already has her. The hospital lights dim. Monitors beep with a steady rhythm, a song of endurance. Ethan sits beside her, fingers tracing the back of her hand. neither speaking. Maya stands at the doorway, a silhouette trembling under fluorescent glow. She hasn't forgiven herself, and Lena hasn't asked her to. The world outside keeps scrolling the next tragedy already trending. Inside, 3 lives hang in the quiet aftermath of noise. Lena closes her eyes. 5 seconds, she murmurs. Ethan looks up. What? 5 seconds, she repeats. And the rest of forever to live them down. White light floods everything. Lena can't tell if she's dreaming or remembering. The hum of machines blends with whispers of the ocean. Shadows move over her face. Masked figures exchange clipped words she can't understand. Pressure's dropping. Stay with us. Her heart stutters, a sound like static underwater. In that drifting haze, she sees fragments, Ethan's hand reaching through glass, Maya crying against a wall, Tomoma's steady eyes filled with grim determination. Then, a single, distant sound cuts through the blur. Beep. Another beep. It feels like the tide returning slow, certain, inevitable. Life reclaiming its rhythm. When Lena opens her eyes again, the world is painfully still. Her throat burns. Her body feels borrowed, stitched together from glass and memory. She tries to move, but the IV tugs back gently, a reminder that control is earned, not given. Ethan's asleep in a chair, head tilted, exhaustion etched into his face. She stares at him, tries to form a word. Her lips tremble. Ethan. He jolts awake, disbelief crashing into relief. Tears spill before he can speak. Her voice cracks like paper. Did I fall? He nods slowly, hands gripping hers. You lived, she exhales, eyes glistening. Then I'm not done yet. Recovery is a cruel teacher. Every muscle protests. Every step negotiates between agony and progress. The therapists push gently but firmly. Again, Lena. One more. Her breath rasps. Sweat beads along her temple. Her reflection in the wall mirror looks foreign, gaunt, trembling, but stubborn. Ethan counts her steps under his breath. Maya films snippets, not for the world, but for her proof that progress exists. Some days she collapses before she reaches the bars. Other days she laughs through tears. Pain means you're alive. Her therapist says softly. Lena smirks, jaw tight. Then I must be immortal. At night, dreams replay the fall, always slower, always changing. Sometimes she lands on her feet. Sometimes she never hits bottom. Sometimes she floats. In waking moments, flashbacks bleed to reality. The sound of wind through open windows makes her flinch. The scent of salt water turns her breath shallow. Ethan holds her when she wakes, trembling, whispering, "It's over." But trauma has its own gravity, invisible, endless. Lena begins to write again, sketch again. Not cliffs, but horizons. If I can draw it, she murmurs, I can live it without fear. Months later, she stands at the therapy center's exit, walker discarded. Every joint aches, every breath sharp, but she's upright, on her own. Maya films again, tears in her smile. Ethan whispers, "Take your time." Lena steps forward, one deliberate pace. Sunlight catches her eyes, and for the first time since that day, she feels taller than fear. In her palm, she holds a photo of the last frame before the fall. She stares at it, then folds it gently. That was then, she says. This is after. The room erupts in quiet applause. The cliffs are quieter than memory. The wind hums low, brushing wild grass that's grown over footprints long erased. Lena stands where she once fell, her body healed, but her spirit still tender. Ethan lingers a few paces back, hands buried in his jacket, eyes searching the horizon as if it might speak. She takes a breath, tasting salt and sunlight, the same air that once betrayed her. There's no fear now, only reverence. She kneels, fingertips tracing the cool rock, whispering, "You didn't take me. You showed me how much I wanted to stay." The ocean below answers in its endless rhythm. Lena pulls her phone from her pocket, the same model that once betrayed her innocence to millions. Its new screen reflects her face older, sharper, alive. For a moment, she sees the other version of herself, the girl mid-fall staring back. Her thumb hovers over the front camera, but she doesn't press record. Instead, she smiles faintly, a whisper escaping her lips. Not everything needs to be captured. She lowers the phone, pocketing it like a confession, and turns toward Ethan. He nods, understanding without words. The horizon stretches ahead, infinite, unfound. Weeks later, she sits in front of a small audience at a local community hall. No bright lights, no viral hashtags, just people listening. She tells them about fear, not fame, about moments that stretch forever, about what it means to live through the fall. "I used to chase beauty," she says, voice steady. "Now I chase truth, and sometimes truth looks like scars." Applause rises hesitant, heartfelt. Maya films this time too, but the footage won't be uploaded. It's for them, for memory, for meaning. Lena exhales, her words landing softly in shared silence. Months later, she agrees to one interview, the first and last. A journalist asks softly, "When did you stop being angry?" Lena thinks for a long moment. "When I realized the internet doesn't hate it, hungers, and I don't have to feed it." The interviewer nods, but the camera captures something deeper, the way she looks past it, beyond the lens, into the space where her fall once looped endlessly. Her story isn't a tragedy anymore. It's a choice. When they pack up, the journalist thanks her. She smiles. "No," she says. "Thank you for letting it end." Evening. The cliffs again, the same light, the same horizon, but now she stands without fear. Ethan joins her, silent. Maya too, camera slung but unused. The sun sinks, spilling liquid fire over the sea. For a moment, the world holds still, just three silhouettes against endless gold. Lena closes her eyes, listening to the waves whisper below. 5 seconds once changed everything. Now, 5 seconds of stillness feel like eternity. "Ready?" Ethan murmurs. She smiles. "For tomorrow." The first second begins not with a scream, but a smile. Her face turned toward the sun, camera in hand, laughter caught between breaths. She remembers the warmth on her cheek, the sound of Maya teasing, Ethan's soft chuckle behind her. Before gravity claimed her, the world was kind, a perfect frame, unbroken. That smile was not ignorance. It was gratitude. A brief, wordless thank you to the light. She didn't know it would be the last time she'd see the world from above, but somehow her heart already did. The ground shifts not violently, but almost playfully. A whisper of balance lost. Her foot rolls over loose gravel. Time thickens like honey stretching between seconds. Lena feels air lift under her jacket, senses the ocean inhale beneath her. She remembers thinking, "This can't be real." But it is exquisitely, painfully real. The wind folds around her body, sculpting her into motion. And in that tilt, in that first betrayal of gravity, she discovers something terrifyingly beautiful, how fragile the moment between control and surrender truly is. This is the second when her body understands what her mind cannot. A rush of air steals her voice. Lungs tighten. The world turns upside down. She sees Ethan's eyes widen, hand reaching toward her. Maya's cry slices the wind. "Maya, cry slices." Her own breath escapes as a whisper, half disbelief, half wonder. She's falling, yes, but in this impossible clarity she sees everything. The ocean, the cliffs, the sky folding into itself. It feels less like dying, more like remembering what being alive really means. The fourth second stretches into eternity. Silence replaces sound. Thought replaces fear. The world dissolves into blue, pure, infinite blue. She feels her body surrender to air, not fighting, but floating. In that nothingness, she becomes part of something vast, weightless, eternal. No pain, no sound. Only existence suspended in its simplest truth. If she could speak, she'd tell gravity thank you for teaching her what it means to let go. The fifth second ends the fall, but not her story. Her body strikes water. The world implodes. And yet somewhere inside that chaos, her heart keeps time. 5 beats. 1 for every second. Beat 1 for life. Beat 2 for Ethan's cry. Beat 3 for Maya's guilt. Beat 4 for the waves that caught her. Beat 5 for the moment she opened her eyes again. 5 seconds that redefined eternity. She lived not to escape the fall, but to understand it.